Welcome back, everybody, to Man Bites Film. My name is Louis Lacal, and this week's episode we are going to be reviewing 90s teen films. The first one that I want to review is called Election. We've been talking about this for various weeks, actually months already, and I've tried to push Brandon to watch it, so hopefully when he comes back on this month he'll be able to review it as well. But I want to do an in-depth review because I love this film. I gave this film a 9.5 out of 10. It was done in 1999 by an Alexander Payne, same director that did Nebraska that we just reviewed a couple months ago as well. Starring Matthew Broderick and Reese Witherspoon. And Reese Witherspoon and Matthew Broderick do such a good job in this film. They portray the characters so perfectly, smoothly, realistic. You actually believe that this is a real place. You could actually see the real story unfolding, and you could actually think that this is something actually occurring in real life. This is not something that's far-fetched. It's not out there. It's not over-traumatized. It's, I think, so smooth. It goes down really smooth. The whole story revolves around Reese Witherspoon running for student president. And Matthew Broderick is the teacher, that's in charge of the student council and everything. And he can't stand Reese Witherspoon's character because she's this, crazy, animalistic, she wants to know everything. She's the one that's always raising her hand throughout the film for every answer. She knows everything that's going on. She knows everything about everybody. And she knows exactly the answer for every single thing that goes on. So Matthew Broderick just can't stand this chick because she's so annoying. She's a brown noser, and she's running for office, and he's like, oh man, I don't want her stuck with me for hours on end. And then also there's a little backstory as well that another reason why he doesn't want her on the student council as well. So that, I don't want to spoil that because that's actually a very entertaining storyline that unfolds. And he does everything in his power to stop this girl from becoming a student council president, trying to get other people involved and all this stuff. And then everything that could possibly go wrong for Matthew Broderick, it goes wrong. The poor guy, oh my god, it's so bad. Everything from his personal life to his actual work ethic is completely affected by this election. That's why it's called that. And their performance is hands down the best thing I've ever seen. I mean, this is the guy that did Ferris Bueller's Day Off, and he goes and then becomes the teacher right after that. It just works so perfectly. He really breaks his mold, and I don't see him as Ferris Bueller anymore after this. I see him as the teacher from Election, and also Ferris Bueller. But it's so good how he does this role. He really, really establishes a realistic high school in this film. It's perfect. The pacing is phenomenal. There's scenes where every time he sees Reese Witherspoon's character, it's this animalistic cry that happens, and it's awesome. It's so freaking cool. And I just, for next time, for a couple times from here on out, whenever I mention Reese Witherspoon in a film or anything like that, I'm gonna use this cry to introduce her character every time I review a film with hers, because it's so iconic and I just love it. It's so good. Alright, so that's my review for Election. This is currently streaming on Netflix, of course. Everything that we have on here is streaming on Netflix, and I will continue to try to do that. Sometimes if it's not on Netflix, it's on Hulu, but you can find it streaming somewhere at least. That's what I'm trying to go for with this. Please check out our feature artists that we're going to be showing you in a second. They're very good artists, and they have some really, really cool music that I ran across them in a podcast, and they're phenomenal. So please check them out. And we'll be back in a minute to review the other films. Welcome back, guys, and now I want to go into the films that I liked and disliked in this genre. Let's start off with the one that I really didn't like that much. It's not that I hated this film, it's just it wasn't as good as the other two films that I'm featuring here. It's called Can't Hardly Wait, with Jennifer Love Hewitt, Lauren Ambrose, Seth Green, Alexander Martin, Jamie Presley, Chris Owens, and Jason Segel back in the day. This was 1998, and this film I gave a 5 out of 10. It's basically your regular quirky, yes I said quirky, rom-com / teenage coming of age film, and it just kind of doesn't have any ground. It takes from a lot of films, and it doesn't have its own legs. I feel like it stole way too much from 80s films, and it tried to be its own. It tried to be a Hughes film, and it wasn't. It stole a lot from Pretty in Pink. The main character, the main character and the best friend, they really identical to Ducky and the girl. So it was kind of like, it just threw me off, and it was like, all right, I've seen this before. Why am I watching this? But it had its moments. It had really, really funny moments throughout the film. I love the band that's going on. It's really good. There's some really quirky scenes that are really fun. The party scene is the best part of the film, I think. So this is again streaming on Netflix. Check this out if you're in the mood to play it in the background while you're cooking, eating, whatever. You know, it's not a film that you really have to sit down and watch. Not like this other film. The next film that I really enjoyed and I considered a classic from my youth is The Faculty. This is a Robert Rodriguez film from 1998 again. These are all 90s films, late 90s but 90s films. And I think they're iconic to the representation of what we saw being 90s and 80s kids. This is, iconic for us. The Faculty had a phenomenal soundtrack. I bought this soundtrack because that's how good it was. I loved it. So good. It stars Salma Hayek, Funky Jessen, sorry. Christopher McDonald, Usher, Ron Stewart, Elijah Wood, young Elijah Wood. And this film is basically about these aliens or weird beings that nobody knows about, and they take over the bodies of people. And they take over, obviously, the faculty of the school. And these students start realizing it because they're taking over the bodies. There's basically invasion of the body snatchers, which they mention throughout the film. And it's really cool because it has some cool twists to it, and you really don't expect the ending that occurs. I liked it. It just works as a film. It has great pacing. You know, Robert Rodriguez coming off of Dusk Till Dawn and a couple other films, Mariachi, etc., etc. He came and did this film. This was a huge blockbuster, and it holds up. It's a 90s, typical 90s film for my generation. I loved it. It was fun. You could watch this. You don't have to take it too seriously. He knows how to handle comedy, yet also drama, yet horror at the same time. And there's a really cool twist throughout the film that they're trying to figure out because they don't know who's infected. So it's like, oh, maybe he's infected. Maybe he's infected. No. You know, it's really cool. And the way that they juggle it and they juggle all the characters and all the stars that are in this film, they do a good job with it, and it doesn't come off as stupid or redundant. There's no redundancies in this film, which is really hard to do with a 90s film. A lot of times they show things over and over and over and try to drill it into mindless people's heads, and they don't do that. They don't spoon feed you the film, which is great. So The Faculty, I gave this a 7 out of 10 just because there are kind of, it's a 90s film and there's kind of weird moments that I didn't like a lot. But overall, the film is a great film. And again, this is streaming on Netflix. Please check these 3 films out. And I really hope you enjoyed this episode and the last few episodes that we've been posting since the new year, changing the format and all that stuff. And we'll hope to see you guys next Friday on Man Bites Film. And again, my name is Louis, and I'll see you then.